right, there we go. Bob Spur TV. It feels like everyone's got their own channel these days. Every
Oh
person.
no, mate. I think everyone's got the bug, haven't they? Everyone likes talking about the COVID's got a lot to do with it, though. I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, everyone's turned into a
Yeah,
YouTuber.
that's it, mate. Yeah,
4-0. I mean, it was only Burnley, but it felt good, didn't it?
yeah, it did. It's about time as well. But
Mm.
like you say, 4-0 against Burnley. If anyone had said, you'd be playing Burnley at the beginning of the season, said you'd be playing Burnley when the 15th, and you're going to be winning 4-0. I don't think you could expect anything less with the firepower we've got. So
Mm.
yeah, yes,
Oh
not on to
no!
that. Yeah.
Connection's gone. Bugger.
Oh,
Oh
is
no,
it?
you're there. You're back. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're right. And then, but then if you'd asked that a couple games ago, you'd have snapped your arm off for it. So it's
Oh,
sort of swings
definitely.
and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people are
Mm.
putting the emphasis on these next three games. Burnley, Palace, Fulham, Palace.
Yeah.
I think it's the games after that, John. That's where we're going to really see how Jose's going to prove his mettle or not, and what selection he's going to put out. So
Mm.
these three games, I know a lot's been made about them, but we should be winning them anyway, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
I
we
know what you're
should. Yeah.
saying. I know what you're saying. 5 defeats and six and all that.
Mm.
That's a whole different topic and conversation, really. How Jose's getting on, but yeah, for me, the fact that we having to rely on beating Burnley to prove something
Yeah.
just shows how far we've come, really, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been so topsy-turvy, hasn't it? I mean, you just
Mm,
don't know what Spurs is going to turn up. When we
yeah,
play like that, or like the first 30 minutes against Everton or the West Brom, it's like, wow, it's like a new lease of life. It's like fire versus ice, isn't it? But then you
yeah,
get you get other games and we just look so leggy and just not interested. But when we play
yeah.
like today, it kind of you get the passion back for Spurs,
Of
don't
course
you?
do. Of course do. I mean, regardless if you're Josie and Josie out, I've always said there's one thing that all Spurs fans have got in common is to see Spurs win.
Mm,
I'm not Josie's biggest fan, but I want to be proved wrong. End of the season, I want people to turn around and say, "Look, there you go, Bob. Egg on your
mm,
face, mate.
mm.
He's done brilliant," and that's what I want.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Um, yeah, but I think when the shackles are off, with the firepower we've got, John, there's no reason why we shouldn't be
yeah.
turning the likes. All due respect, the likes of Burnley and the teams coming up over 3-4-0 anyway. So yeah. So it's
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic seeing it. Yeah,
you just made a good point there because it's almost as if we in a boxing metaphor we've got someone like a Mike Tyson who's got
yeah,
amazing knockout power, or someone like a Wilder, someone like that, and
yeah.
he's been asked to box like a Mayweather, and it just doesn't
Mm,
suit his style, and I
no,
think that's what's kind of happened to us over to this season to a certain extent. But when you actually allow the team to play to their strengths, which is playing on the front foot and letting them
yeah,
unleash unleash the beast, and unleash the attacking force,
yeah.
it's pretty good, isn't it?
Definitely, and especially when you see Bale coming back the way he's finally coming to the fore. I was a bit apprehensive. People getting
Yeah.
excited. The fact he's putting good performances against Wickham
Mm,
and an average European team.
mm,
The fact is, he did it. He showed glimpses against Man City. He definitely showed the second half against West Ham, and he showed it against a Premier League team, albeit
mm,
poor Premier League team, but they are a Premier League team. So it's good to see him finally come back. I don't know if it's enough to
mm.
convince Enoch and Levy and Jodo to actually uh, extend his contract. I guess it depends how we finish the season. If the
Yeah.
miracle happens and we do get the top four, then there's no
Mm.
reason why, because we'll have that financial
Well, it's a bit of
revenue, haven't
that.
we?
That's the problem, isn't it? I
That's
mean,
it, mate. Yeah,
mm, yeah. I
that's
mean,
it.
I would keep him just for sentimental
Yeah,
value, but I mean, 20 million or however much it costs in wages is going to be an issue for Levy for sure. But
yeah. I mean,
um,
you're talking to someone who had Bale shirts 2 years in a row, and then when he went to Madrid, I bought Bale shirt as well, mate. So yeah,
mm.
I'd keep him definitely.
You'd
But
keep him, yeah.
yeah,
I'd even play him instead of Doherty if we need to bring him on for wing back. If we play three at the
yeah,
back, I'd much rather have Bale at right wing back than
yeah,
Doherty.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
why
mean,
not?
because you have license to go forward and he's better on the ball, better at crossing, faster, stronger, puts in more tackles. I
Yeah,
mean, for me, it's just I'd rather have my best players on the pitch.
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, so there was. What about the other performances? Would you say? I mean, I thought everyone played well. To be honest, with you, even Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez play. I knew Sanchez was going to have a good game because Toby was playing. Toby makes every
Yeah.
defender who plays alongside a better player. you know, I mean, if you want to nitpick, Sanchez still gave ball away a couple of times, when there was no one around him. But I suppose that'd be Sanchez all the
That's
way through, isn't
Sanchez,
it?
yeah.
That is, but Toby makes his defensive partner look at a little bit. Sanchez,
Yeah.
Dyer, or even Roden, and hence I'm a big believer why Roden should play.
Yeah.
Son worries me a bit. You know,
Oh,
I
go
think
on. Yeah, I want to hear this.
yeah, because I think his performance has probably dipped since the contract talks have been put to one side. I don't know if his
Yeah, I've noticed that.
mind is elsewhere, and
Yeah.
if we were doing player ratings, I'm sure Sim and Ben are, but I wouldn't be surprised if they marked him as the worst player for us. He had a good game, but
They'll give him an 8. I guarantee you, Ben and Sim will give him
you
about an 8.
reckon?
But for me, he was one of the most jaded. He looks jaded for me.
Yeah, he does. The smile's gone. The smile's gone.
Yeah,
The famous son smiley.
yeah, and the twinkle feet have gone. Like
Mm,
he still. Don't get me wrong. Even a jaded Son is brilliant, but he
mm,
doesn't commit the defenders and get them on the back foot like he was
no,
halfway in the season. And like really get. He's not as sharp, and I don't think Kane's sharp at the moment. I have to say, I think they're
no.
both looking, because to be honest with you, they started the season when everyone. They had a big rest, didn't they?
Mm,
Because they had their injuries, and they came in like straight out the barrel, didn't they?
yeah,
Like the two of them.
yeah.
But I think they're now looking a little bit burnt out. I mean, I don't know if you see the same thing.
Yeah, they were carrying the weight of the shoulders, weren't they? At the beginning,
Yeah,
they were literally carrying us. If it wasn't for them and their goals early on, there's no way we would have got to the top. Never mind stay there. But you're right about Son. Losing a bit, looking a bit jaded. Son earlier on with that Kane through pass at the end. I reckon earlier on in the season he would have done a couple of step overs and took it
exactly.
on his left, to curled it in on his left. But the fact he took it from so far out and hit and hope more
Yeah,
than a bit of skillful, it just shows he's a bit
yeah,
jaded. And Kane, you're right, he missed that sitter, mate. It just showed he was human. But a Kane earlier on the season would have probably played a couple of keepy uppies and volleyed it in. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you can't
but
be
yeah,
too hard. I mean, you can't be
no,
too hard. I mean, because it's a long season. It's a grueling season, and those two have carried the team for most of it.
of course, mate. Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought it was just a good all round team performance.
yeah,
I can't really think of a bad player if I'm
no,
thinking about it. Everyone sort of mucked in. Everyone looked reasonable. I mean, probably
yeah.
I can't even think who the worst player is. I mean, someone said Højbjerg in the studio here. I thought he was all right.
Mm,
Reguilon was probably the one that I thought could have. We're not really seeing the true Reguilon when he's really overlapping and driving it at the defense, but that will come, I'm sure, in the next few games,
yeah,
won't it?
yeah. I think if we are for us to sit here and try and think about
Nitpick. There's no
worst
need to even
players.
pick a
Yeah,
worst player,
we're
is there?
nitpicking.
Nah.
We're nitpicking for the sake of
Yeah, we're
nitpicking.
nitpicking.
But
Yeah.
we just have to remind ourselves it is Burnley, mate. You know, the 15th. Yeah, they're on
Yeah.
a bit of an unbeaten run, but they haven't been brilliant this season. They can't score goals. Yeah, they have been keeping good clean sheets. I'm surprised to see them with the second best.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Burnley, mate. And like I say,
It's Burnley. Yeah.
these performances should carry on now against Fulham and against Palace as well. Like I say, it's the games after that is when we should really sit back and see how we've performed and where
Yeah.
we've got to and how Jose's getting on, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said you have to give him to the end of the season, and
Yeah,
even let him have another transfer window just to build the team in his image, and then you judge it. If he's still tanking, then like you obviously have to ask questions. But I think he hasn't quite created
no,
the team that he wants yet. So yes, things are still like things are still on the fence. It could either go down. We could end up losing a couple games and then suddenly the doom and glooms come back, or we could win a couple games and suddenly everything's looking good again. So it really is on that knife's edge at the moment. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, go on.
And I was just going to say, what do you think about that? And any final comments about for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, people who I've spoken to know what my feelings towards Jose. I'm pretty much in a make a change now or Jose out kind of camp at the moment. That's a personal opinion. I think the fact you've got platforms like this who can you can come across and give your opinion and give an argument over. I like to think if I say Jose out, I have an argument, I have an opinion, I can back it up. What really has done my head in over the last couple of months or so is people just shouting Jose out without actually backing it up with an
Yeah.
argument or an opinion. I've supported Tottenham for 35 years. I'm 46, so I
Mm.
believe I've earned the right to have an
absolutely.
opinion. And if I feel Jose's not the right man, I believe I can say that. I'm allowed to say that. But at the same time, I can give my opinion on why, and that's another reason
Mm.
why platforms like yourself, mate,
I,
and Sim and Ben, and everything. It's
Yeah, well, credit to Ben and Sim. I mean, I'm just helping out, but you're right. I mean, it's funny how also. I mean, I've been supporting Spurs since 1987, 88, so I
well,
feel like I'm
yeah,
in a good position as well.
that's
But it's
it, yeah.
amazing how much hate I get just because I said all I said was Mourinho has to take responsibility. That's
Of course it
pretty
does.
much the most I've said. And
Mm,
everyone's like, John, the Jose hater. It's like people are
no,
so. It's almost as if you criticize the manager in any way, people actually think you're criticizing Spurs. It's almost like a kind
mm,
of a like they don't really get it. You know, they just sort of
yeah.
they get sort of defensive about it and protective over Mourinho as if like you're actually attacking them or something. You know, but
I,
it's just we want the best for our club, don't we?
Exactly, exactly. We'll want Spurs to do well. We're
Mm,
all aware of the bigger picture. You know, we're all aware the board has let us down and how they've not invested and how they're
mm,
not taken advantage of the fact that when we were the second best team in Europe, we should have really gone gung ho in the transfer and taken advantage of that. We're fully aware of that, but we can get greedy at some, and we can be a bit tunnel vision at times. And
mm,
it's not the board who have turned around to Jose and told him to, you know, give up possession against the likes of Fulham and Fulham at
mm.
home, you know,
Yeah, that
Wolves
was
and
poor that
Palace,
game.
and be
Yeah,
on the back foot and not start up defensively. You know,
mm,
it's not the board who's not Enoch, it's not
mm,
Levy who's done that. It comes directly from Jose. So Jose's got a lot to answer for, as far
definitely.
as I'm concerned. And the fact that we're so overjoyed about because of a 4-0 win over Burnley, it's as fantastic as it is, and it really is.
Mm,
It's kind of, you know, it's a day where Spurs have
mm.
finally risen and we get our Spurs back. But the fact we're so overjoyed about a 4-0 win over Burnley,
So
you do have
yeah,
to
that's
take a
saying
step back.
something.
Says
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
bit, doesn't it, mate? Yeah, yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, look, let's see how we get on in the next few games, and like you said, we'll
definitely, mate.
reflect. We'll reflect on it in about 5 games time, and then we'll know, then,
Definitely.
won't we? All right,
Cheers.
Bobby. Brilliant having you
Cheers,
on, mate,
buddy.
and let's have you on
Thank you,
soon.
mate.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Nice one. Cheers.